Hey again, people. It is Countermember, and yes, today this is a little introduction, or not introduction, but it's a little talk in general about overpowered weapons in Call of Duty, because in my last video I said that my next video would be about the Remington, overpowered weapons on the Remington, and a subscriber, Temp, sorry I don't know the exact digits after just Temp, I'm just gonna call you Temp. You complained and said that the Remington was not overpowered and that he's kind of sick of all the people complaining about it, that it takes a lot of skill to use, and so on and so on. And I respect that, and well, that's kind of what I'm gonna talk about, that overpowered weapons in general in CoD, because I can kind of link that rather good to the Remington in particular. So, behind the scenes, overpowered weapons. Why? Why in Call of Duty? Why not in Battlefield? I'm gonna make that comparison because if you think about it, people talk a lot about overpowered weapons in CoD, as you already know, but in Battlefield, pretty much nobody does. It's not very much. Maybe they talk about like defibrillators, and I do agree with that. If a person dies, you can revive them, die again, revive again, die again, revive again. 5,000 shots in his stomach, no problem, we can revive him. Blown up by a 120mm cannon, no problem, we can revive him. If there's a clusterfuck of people, you can throw in a grenade, 10 dies, 1 survives. He has defibrillators, and they're all back up again. Yay, happy days. No, that is overpowered, but also that, I don't think there are many complaints about the Battlefield games concerning guns and their balancedness. And that is probably because, well, you can hop into looking at raw weapon stats. If you just compare weapons straight out, everything looks fine. The LMGs are good at long ranges, the assault rifles are good at medium ranges, and the SMGs are good at short ranges, shotguns are also good at short ranges, and sniper also long ranges, so it looks kind of fine. Every weapon has their own niche, their own place where they work best. It all sounds nice. But you can't just look at that, because if you would only look at that, then there wouldn't be a problem, then they wouldn't complain in CoD but not in Battlefield 3, or any Battlefield game. No, you gotta think about something else, and that is the maps. How do the maps allow the different weapons to work its range, if you know what I mean, if you understand me? Like, do the maps allow the weapons, LMGs for example, to work at its long range where it works as very best? Does it allow the SMGs to work at short range? Is it a very tight map, a very close quarter map? Because the LMGs and their snipers, they're not going to work very well. Or is it a very open map where the SMGs and shotgun are going to work like shit? That's what you need to think about. And how does Battlefield/CoD work at this? Well, in Call of Duty, the Call of Duty franchise, it is focused on fast-paced gaming, mainly short-range combat with SMGs and shotguns. This is not just me saying this. I think Infinity Ward, some big guy in there, said that they wanted to focus, that was back in Modern Warfare 3 times that was going to be released, he said that he wanted to focus the game around a fast-paced engine and blah blah blah. Really wanted it fast-paced, and the same goes for Black Ops 2. The maps are generally tight. I don't feel I have to prove that. That is kind of just true, that they are. They have a lot more short ranges than long ranges. For example, Drifter and Xbox Ahoy have both, when they talked about the Mark 48, they both said that its range is ridiculous. You will never be able to get out that range where it start killing in 4 shots instead of 3, and that kind of shows that's wasted potential. It never gets the full potential because it never gets to use the long range it has. It's never even close to that 4-shot kill range. So all that 3-shot kill range that it has extra, that's just gone to waste, because when they've given it extra much 3-shot kill range, they have probably dragged down some other things. For example, its fire rate is very low. So they probably thought like, okay, we give it a huge range and then we lower its rate of fire a bit more. But then they've made the rate of fire too slow and the range too high for it to be of any use at all. It will be like if you gave the Scorpion 5000 RPM, like, yeah, it has really high fire rate, but it kills in 100 shots. Like, you can't do that. It's not gonna work out. To certain limits, the guns, some may be really good at one thing, some may be really good at another thing, but you can't just focus them out like that if you don't have the maps fitting them. If you would have super tight close quarter combat, then you can make guns working for that. If you have a lot of that on the maps, then you can make guns working for that are really specialized on close quarter combat. And if you have a lot of open wide ranges as well, then you can as well make LMGs that have insane range. But now that we don't have so insane range, what am I saying? I'm saying range. The Mark 48's potential is kind of going to waste. So having said that, and having made the comparison between CoD and BF3 mainly, you're perhaps thinking, oh, you think Battlefield 3 is a better game than CoD. Well, partially yes, it is actually a better game, but CoD can actually be funnier because just of the fast-paced nature, it's a bit more thrilling sometimes. So, and for Temp finally, about the Remington, yes, it would be true that the Remington requires a lot of flanking and a lot of tactics if this would have been Battlefield 3. Because there you really have to choose your battles, perhaps even your game modes. You really have to think about when you can encounter the enemy. But in Call of Duty, it's kind of a whole lot more close range encounters, because there are more close range maps, and it's a lot of buildings. Typically it's not that much open plains, so that's kind of why there are so many short range encounter areas and why you encounter everybody in short range. And that is why I consider the Remington overpowered. Although I will hop into some deeper statistics and talk about it a bit more later in another video, the video coming soon. But I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you understood what I was talking about. Did I say I hope you enjoyed? Either way, I'll say that now. Hope you enjoyed. This has been ContraMember, and adios. By the way, the music in the background, did you like it? Did you not like it? Comment in comments if you would like to. Bye bye. Adios.